So glad to have you here today listening to the Spiritual Cocaine Podcast. I am Jesika Miller, the mind trainer and Phobia Eliminator and founder of spiritualcocaine.com. Spiritual Cocaine was started as a resource to connect you with gifted practitioners that could guide you to reaching your highest self, heal the deepest parts of you that need healing, and remove any obstacles standing in your way of your best possible life. Join us weekly for high-quality guests and invaluable information that will change your life. SpiritualCocaine.com serves as a directory of practitioners, healers, coaches, and light workers sharing their gifts with you to take you to the highest levels of your being by healing your mind, body, and spirit, and in turn accessing your inner high. Our practitioners, healers, coaches, and light workers offer one-on-one session, group classes, courses, and events throughout the world. You can log on and look through a variety of practitioners, or if you are a practitioner yourself, you can create a profile for others to get to know you and use your services. Join the movement, find your guide, and get high on spiritual cocaine. Hi there, and welcome to the Spiritual Cocaine Podcast, where we teach you to heal those parts of yourself that hold you back from living your best life. Spiritual Cocaine is an unlimited resource to show you the infinite ways to reach limitless happiness and abundance using the quantum field. I'm your host, Jesika, the mind trainer, and today's guest is Rachel Loren. We have to add her special little Loren. She pronounces it in a special way. Rachel is amazing. We met online, and she has an incredible amount of energy. My goal today is for you to fall in love with her like I fell in love with her. I think she's incredible. I think she has an incredible energy, and she has a lot to offer, and I think that you'll be very lucky if you get to work with her. She's going to tell us a little bit about what it is that she does and what it is that she can do for you, and also what her specific offerings are and how to get in touch with her. So why don't you give us an overview of what you do? What do you call yourself? What do you do?
First off, thank you so much for having me on this podcast. I feel like it was so perfect that we were matched up in this way, and just felt like something I needed to do, and we got along so well. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Jesika. So I am a Reiki healer, specifically working in the feminine energy field. There's a lot of Reiki healers out there that, maybe do Reiki for nursing or massage therapy or just do it to themselves. But I found my sort of niche in that when talking to my friends, and we're all kind of in this mid-20s 30s era of life, and all having these crazy feminine sexual kind of experiences. And I think that I sort of went down this path of doing Reiki first for myself and then for others to help clear their energy and get them really ready to tackle the world as women in business, or as someone who's looking for their love interest. And so that's kind of how my business began. It's called Dangerously Divine. And that name came to me. I was kind of thinking of different words and plays on words, and I love alliteration. And it kind of came to me because as soon as I started really experimenting with what it means to be feminine, control, and, channel your feminine energy. Once I started to use these magnetism sort of powers that I had, it worked. it worked so phenomenally for me that I was like, ooh, this is dangerous. This is fun. This is sexy.
It's like you. It represents you and your personality.
Yeah, and I was just so excited, and I was everything in my life over the past few months has felt divine, and that's the only way I can describe it. And I was like, okay, done. There's a name. So yeah,
I think this is perfect timing. I think that the me personally, I coach a lot of salespeople, and a lot of the women turn masculine. And I think people have a different idea of what it means to be masculine, feminine. I don't think people have like correct definitions. They think if like they dress the part and do the things, they're feminine, but it's not about that. It's a certain attitude that you take on. And a lot of times these saleswomen, they become very masculine because they feel that that's what they have to do to compete. And then they bring that home from work into their personal life, and then wonder why, they're not having success in their love life. So I think that your offering is in divine timing, because I think it is a very much needed product at this time for people. I think that people definitely need, assistance in this time in their life. So what does a session look like with you?
Right now I do a little bit of coaching mixed with Reiki. I like sort of mixing the like woo-woo spiritual stuff with also mindset and, positivity and magnetism. So I think it's kind of a balance of both. So I don't really have like a clear outline of what a session looks like because I just love meeting people so much. And I'm here.
Well, that's also what intuitive healing is. Intuitive healing is seeing what each person needs, and not everybody needs the same thing. To just say you do the same thing for every person would be like very cookie cutter, and none of us are the same.
Yeah. So I just love to meet people. And if I, find that someone has, some blocked chakras and maybe they need more Reiki, or if someone is really masculine and they need to get out of their head, then maybe we might do more mindset stuff. I really like to tailor my approach to every client that I have.
What kind of, I know I had asked you on the questionnaire some questions, like what would be some of your like bigger success stories, like people who have gone from here to here?
I am in a lovely women's group, and I had the pleasure of leading them on like divine femininity. And a lot of the women in this group considered themselves to be more masculine. You were saying about your salespeople,
right?
It's kind of like how we just have learned to operate in like a man's world.
To survive. Yeah. People think they have to be masculine to survive, to compete. They think they have to compete, and you can compete with femininity.
Yeah, and so I taught them how to do like a balanced morning routine of doing feminine versus masculine things that balance out, because we can't operate in our feminine or our masculine all the time. And I think that seeing them come back to me the next week after I gave them this kind of like worksheet, they were like, oh my God, Rachel, this is amazing. Like I have done it and I'm feeling really good, and I'm able to express myself more and set more clear boundaries. And that's what it's all about. Like just feeling like you're in the flow again. And that's what
you can see it in them, right? Like you can see it in their, like the way they carry themselves and the way they are with you. Yeah.
It's like a twinkle in their eye. I'm like,
yeah,
you got your femininity back. Yay.
People don't realize it's these subtle new, like unconscious nuances that people pick up on that you can't really put your finger on it or say exactly what it is, but people unconsciously pick up on how your brain works. When you flip your mind inside, your body language, everything about you changes, and the people you attract and everything around you changes.
And once you start operating in your feminine and you feel how good it feels, you're like, I don't ever want to go back.
Masculine is very pushed and forced.
Yes.
Femininity is receiving and being is I don't want to say not doing the work. It's doing the work in a different way and learning to accept. It's not so forceful and controlling.
More flowing and fluid.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful when, I see my friends and, even family members that I talk about this. They're like, oh, wow, that makes a ton of sense. And I'm like, yeah, see, like you don't need to operate in your masculine all the time. Like it's just what we're trained to do. And I know myself personally, I'm really independent and I live alone. I'm single and I don't really like asking anyone for help. And while those might seem like really good traits, it's not helping me channel my feminine. And it's a conscious effort that we all have to make, I feel like, every day, to choose to be kind and to be trusting and to listen to our own, inner voice and our inner intuition.
Yeah, I mean, some people are lucky enough to be born into a familiar situation with your parents where you're more feminine, and some are born into situations where they're trained to be masculine, where it's the hard work, the push, the proving, and or another way that women become masculinized is through having like not being seen by their parents, maybe not being seen by their mother or father. So then they switch into a masculine overdrive, like overachiever status to prove,
Yeah.
and then can't understand why they're the perfect package and don't have the guy.
Yeah. It comes a lot.
They are the perfect package. They really are the perfect package. They're just so, you know, they haven't learned how to receive. They've been so focused on giving and doing. And
That was one of the biggest challenges for me was, learning to receive and ask others for help. And
yeah,
when you're kind to someone, like kindness flows to you. And it's such a beautiful thing. And you're just like, wow, I could have been doing this all along and feeling so great.
you know what I think is amazing? I had somebody that I was talking to. It's very interesting what's important to people. And she was talking about what's important to her in hiring a coach is that they have all these like certificates and this and that. And I don't necessarily agree 100%. I mean, it's an interesting approach. Education doesn't always equate to knowledge. What I was explaining that I think is most important is somebody who embodies what they teach. And I think that's one of the main things that attracted me to you right away, just over the phone talking to you, is I don't even need to hear like what you are about, because you embody what you're teaching. If that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
I look at you and you're a glowing ball, like you're smiling, you're happy, you're glowing, you have this intense magnetism about you that you don't even need to sell yourself. And people really need to understand, like when you're looking for a coach and when you're looking for something, like you really want that person to embody exactly what it is that they're teaching. Like for me, being in this world, being around a lot of salespeople, there's a lot of coaches now who have turned woo-woo. And the thing is that, or people who have turned woo, but they're just expert salespeople. So they're such experts at roping people in to their program to bring them into an empty program.
Yeah.
And that was one of the main things about starting this podcast, was to have people get to know people, and so that they could see like who you are and who you represent. And I just want to tell you, I'm just very impressed by you. And I think definitely whoever comes to you is going to get their money's worth. You also mentioned you're going to have a course. I don't know. Have you done it before? Is your first go round?
This is my first time. I'm still kind of tweaking it and perfecting it.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone wants to sign up, they can just like DM me on Instagram and I'll send the link. But this course is basically like 2 years worth of studying the subject. And I pull out all the knowledge that I've gotten from different books and other coaches, and really everything that I've learned, and put it in a course for people to learn. They can, do it self-paced.
Oh, so is it evergreen? It's recorded?
Yeah, it's all recorded.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
And there's like, journal prompts with it. And for me, it was more about, let's get the knowledge out there first. And then if people have questions, they can connect with me because I'm always, online. And I think it's a good way for people who aren't really sure if I'm a good fit for a coach to kind of test out the program and, see if this is something that they even want or need before working with me one-on-one.
Do you have a price point for that yet, and when that's going to launch?
Yeah, so it's $444.
It was just $444 a couple minutes ago when we were talking. I noticed that. That's funny.
That's like one of my angel numbers, and I think because
that's funny. I just noticed it a couple minutes ago. That's funny.
First course, and I'm so passionate on the subject. I'm like, I have to make that the price. If anybody that is listening to this like wants a discount or can't afford that, like I'm so open to just connecting with people. That I think that everything in this course is so great because I've been addicted to the subject since I started learning, and I just like can't wait to push it out and just share it with everyone. And it's going to go live on September 15th. So awesome. Yeah, if you guys are listening ahead of time.
So you have your one-on-ones and you have your course offerings, and then so it's just for different kinds of people depending on their budget maybe, or some people, like I find some people sometimes want to take my course. It's like you said, that's how they get to know you, and then it's kind of like the base of all your teachings, and then they'll move on to one-on, like that'll be satisfying for some people, and then there's some people who need to go further, and that's when they come for the one-on-one sessions.
And then I also offer like Reiki healing to people who just want to cleanse out their energy and their auras. I think it's really important, like you said, that, you know, someone embodies who they want to be or what their services are. And I think it's all about like knowing the subject, because I'm really big into feminine energy, and sometimes it's turned off a little bit. Everyone is human. And what helps me get back into that is maybe wearing the color pink or like putting on some lipstick. And there's like little things that we can do every day that help us to feel more aligned with our highest level self. But at the end of the day, if the aura and the energy is not right, and maybe I'm not a good fit, whatever, that is totally okay. It's like walking in somewhere and feeling like bad energy. Everybody has that sort of intuition or has had something like that happen to them.
I don't think it's bad. I just think there's a different fit for everybody. You know, that's why there's different coaches for the same topic. It's whoever you're a match friend. And as you grow, your clientele grows.
Exactly.
You know, you people meet you where you're at.
Yes.
So what made you, a lot of people, what made you decide to go into this arena?
My mom is into Reiki first and foremost. Mm-hmm. And at the time when she was taking her classes a few years ago, I was like, oh, that's kind of not my expertise. Like, I don't think I would be good at that. And we would speak about my Nana on the phone, and apparently my Nana was very intuitive, kind of like a psychic. And then my mom went through this Reiki, and I was like, oh, I feel like there's something there for me. And it took a while for me to explore. And I was going to Europe for a month and decided that I'm going to buy all these books and do a ton of reading on Reiki and self-healing. And that's sort of what got me into this, was just like having a ton of time to myself and being in such a great, different environment going to Europe.
Well, what made you put the feminine flip on it?
I think that just kind of came naturally to me. Like I said, my friends and I all love talking about bad dates or good dates. And I think I'm the friend that people come to when they have things that are like a little bit more risque to talk about. And I thought people shouldn't feel shamed for their sexuality. And, you know, they say like when you sleep with someone, their energy stays in you for 7 years. And I was like, oh, that's a lot of different energy in. And so then I started thinking like, maybe I'll do it for like brides before, you know, their wedding, if they want.
Oh, that's cool.
To just clear out all the energy of their past lovers. So that kind of just.
What an amazing idea.
Yeah, that just came naturally to me, I think. I'm really excited by the subject of.
What other like types of that's also a question that I had. Like, what do people like? What other types of situations? Who would this be ideal for?
Anybody who like knows.
I mean, besides everybody can use it. Who do you seem to like attract?
I think specifically like hardworking, independent women. Kind of reach that like breaking point almost, where they're like, I've excelled in my career. I pay my bills. Like, I'm so strong and independent. What am I missing? And then I come in and I tell them, you're missing being open to receiving. You're missing like approaching things with kindness and love. And obviously it's not that simple. And I'm so proud of everyone who has been so independent, but there's a lot of women that are like, they don't see the imbalance. And I'm here to show that like, there's ways to operate where you can be magnetic. And that's when everything clicks and they start, you know, going on really fulfilling dates or getting proposals or, you know, whatever is happening in their life.
Those are the best kind of results and testimonials that must make you just feel incredible.
It really does, because I think, yeah, like I said, it feels dangerous. Like it feels like I've unlocked something and it's like, oh, you should everyone know this? Like, should I gatekeep this a little bit? But no, like once
that's why we download it. That's why they give it to us, so that we can share it with the world. And congratulations. It's beautiful that you are and doing it in such an amazing way. So thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
I think you definitely have a lot to offer, and I'm really excited. What was I going to ask you? Generally, about how long are the sessions, and like how, I know it varies, but in general, do people come, like, are they a one and done? Do they come for like, you know, a month or 2 or 3? Do they come in for a period of time and then check in later? How does it work?
I like to think of my clients as like my friends, and I'm never going to like not answer a friend's DM or like a friend's email, or if a friend needs advice on something. So once we come up with like a coaching program that might be 3 months, might be 6 months, 9 months, depending on your goals, the door is always open to come back and say, you know, hey, Rachel, I'm having trouble in this one area of my life. What can I do? And maybe it's as simple as like a quick Reiki session, or maybe I'm like, okay, let's tailor into why this issue is coming up, how to combat it with feminine ease, and, you know, maybe journal about it, report on it, tell me what's been going on in your life. And yeah, I think that most of my programs are mostly 3 to 6 months, but like my door is always open, and I'm always happy to like reconnect if something is
after you get to know them. I was asking that because I found, like, even in myself, and I was talking, I had a guest yesterday, we were speaking about this, like, you know, I was sick for a period of time, and in my healing I was like, okay, I did the session, like, why am I not better? Why am I not better? Why am I not better? It's kind of like, you know, with the clientele that you're dealing with, who's used to like, okay, I do the work, I get the results. I do the work, I get the results. People have to realize, like, in healing and things like this, it does take time. It's like you spent your whole 30 something years being this person. It might take you a few months to undo it.
Yeah. And healing is not linear. It's not
like
on this upward trend.
No.
So much up and down. And I've been there, so I know that people might need extra support, and I'm so happy to provide that.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We will put all your contact info where we post this in the bio, but quickly, you seem to be really focused on saying your DMs. So I assume you do a lot through Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you like to share your Instagram name with us?
Yeah, my Instagram is I am dangerously divine. Got to get the little affirmation in there to start off this process. And yeah, you can find me there. And like I said, my door is always open. I'm happy to answer.
And then your course is starting on September 15th. Well, it'll be evergreen. So once September 15th passes, they can go and they can, you know, log on anytime, since it's constantly going. It's not a set time. And so do you have a website that they can go to that they can catch your course at?
Yeah. Again, it's I am dangerously divine.
That's your Instagram. Is that your website too?
Website too,
I am dangerously divine.com, I assume.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for being on today. We appreciate you so much and all your information. And I definitely look forward to having you again in the future. So thank you for joining us on the Spiritual Cocaine podcast. where we teach you how to heal those parts of you that hold you back from living your best life. We had an incredible guest today, and we can't wait to have her on in the future and give us more advice and tell us more of her beautiful success stories. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you for joining me, Jesika, the Mind Trainer and Phobia Eliminator, here on the Spiritual Cocaine Podcast. If you loved what you heard today, please be sure to leave us a positive review on this podcast so that it can continue to provide you with the best resources available in your ascension journey. Most of the episodes can be watched on our YouTube channel, which you can find by searching Spiritual Cocaine on YouTube. Find out more about our guests in depth on our website, spiritualcocaine.com, along with many other gifted practitioners. And as always, give us a follow on Instagram, where you will definitely find our juiciest content. Our Instagram address is @spiritualcocaine_. Bye for now.